All right, let's get right into it. You know how it is when you start a solo business, right? You get this amazing idea for a product, you find a place to sell it, and you're off to the races. But in that rush, we almost always forget about the single most critical piece of infrastructure, ourselves. It's this product first, figure it out later approach. And yeah, it feels fast, but what you're really doing is building a business on a foundation of sand, just waiting for the first big wave to hit. And what's that big wave, that stress test? Well, the crazy part is, it's usually success. I'm talking about a viral post, a sudden flood of orders, that dream collaboration you've been hoping for. These are the very things that can absolutely shatter a business that isn't built for it. It's like what Paul Jarvis says here. Focusing only on growth can actually be harmful. Your biggest win suddenly becomes your biggest threat. So the real question is, how do you build a business that thrives on success instead of being completely wiped out by it?
That's exactly what we're going to unpack today. First, we'll look at the success trap and why it catches so many of us. Then, we'll introduce a totally different way of thinking, the data center mindset. From there, we'll dive into the 6 critical layers of your business, figure out how to map your weak spots, create what I call a personal SLA to keep you sane, and finally, bring some real engineering discipline to how you make changes. This isn't just a to-do list, folks. This is a blueprint for building something that lasts. All right, first up, the success trap. Here's the deal. Most solo businesses are built on intuition, and that's why they collapse when they win. It feels great at first, it's fast, it's exciting, but it's also incredibly fragile. So when that moment you've been grinding for finally hits, a huge wave of new customers or a big feature in the media, the very thing you wanted becomes your single point of failure. The systems you wing together just can't handle the pressure, and boom, the whole thing comes crumbling down. So what's the fix? Well, it's all about shifting from intuition to architecture. You have to stop acting like a hobbyist and start thinking like a data center architect. Seriously, in that world, the world of mission-critical IT, you would never just plug a bunch of stuff together and hope it works. No way. Design comes first, always. Every single layer is built with purpose, with discipline, and with a crystal-clear understanding of how everything connects. We've got to bring that exact same mindset to our own small businesses. Okay, now let's unpack the 6-layer architecture that separates a fragile business from one that's truly resilient. So just like a data center, your business is really a stack of 6 layers that all depend on each other. You can see it here like a pyramid. And here's the most important rule you need to remember. If a lower layer breaks, everything above it breaks too. It's a chain reaction. Now, most of us, we try to build from the top down. We focus on the user and the product first. But the architect's way, it's the complete opposite. You build from the bottom up, starting with the one layer that holds everything else up. So, layer 1, physical infrastructure. In a giant data center, this is the concrete stuff, the power grid, the cooling systems, the racks themselves. But in your business, it's you. It's your health, your sleep, your nutrition, your ability to even think straight. This is the bedrock. Let's be real. If you, the founder, collapse from burnout or get sick, it doesn't matter how great your product is. The whole operation just stops, dead. Okay, sitting right on top of that foundation is layer 2, the network. For a data center, that's the switches, the routers, the fiber optic cables connecting it to the world. For you, that's your audience. It's your email list, your professional relationships, all the ways you communicate. Because think about it. Without this layer, even the most amazing product on the planet has no way to reach anyone. It's like having a supercomputer with no internet connection. Completely useless. Next, we have layer 3, storage. In the data center world, this is all about disk arrays, backup systems, the whole shebang. In your world, your storage layer is your system for managing knowledge. It's your archive of content, your notebooks full of ideas, your customer database. When this layer is a mess, you're just constantly reinventing the wheel, wasting so much time, and losing priceless ideas. It's basically the brain of your business. All right, moving up to layer 4, compute. For a data center, this is the horsepower, right? The servers, the CPUs, the RAM. For you as a solo founder, your compute is your ability to actually do the work. It's your focused hours, your time for deep work. If this layer is weak, if you're distracted all the time and can't actually sit down and produce, then all your brilliant plans and to-do lists just pile up, gathering dust. Nothing gets done. Now we get to layer 5, the application. And here's the thing. This is what most people think the business is. In a data center, it's the software, the operating systems. For you, it's the stuff you sell, your products, your services, your courses. It's the part the customer actually sees and pays for. But look where it is in the stack.
It depends on 4 solid layers beneath it just to function.
And at the very top, the final piece, layer 6, the user, your customers, your subscribers, your community. They are the entire reason this whole thing exists. They're the whole point. If they're not there, then all 5 layers underneath are just a really complicated hobby with no purpose. Data centers live and die by their dependency maps. So let's create one for your business.
So, how do you actually find the weak spots in your own 6-layer setup? Simple. You map your dependencies. Let's make this really personal for a second. I want you to really think about this. If your primary email account was locked, right now, for good, what would break? Your payment system, your website domain, all your client communications? Let's also consider this. What is the one single thing in your business that, if it vanished tomorrow, would keep you up at night?
Look at this. This is what a dependency map can look like. It's a way to visualize your risk. You trace a really important process, like making a single sale, all the way back. So a customer buys your product. That goes through Gumroad. Okay, Gumroad depends on Stripe. Stripe needs your bank account. Your bank account is tied to your email login, and that login needs your phone for 2FA. See the chain? If any single one of those links breaks, the entire revenue stream just stops.
In the corporate world, an SLA is a promise to a client. But for a solo founder, it's a critical promise you make to yourself to prevent burnout. So what does this promise actually look like? Well, a personal service level agreement, or SLA, isn't just some fuzzy goal. It's a contract you sign with yourself. It sets hard, non-negotiable boundaries. Things like, I will not work more than 45 hours a week, or I will get at least 3 hours of deep work done every day. It also covers customer response times, and, this is so important, it locks in your vacation time. Because working without an SLA, it's like borrowing energy from your future self. And trust me, that debt always comes due, and the interest rates are brutal.
To ensure stability, data centers never make changes without a plan. It's time to bring that same engineering discipline to your business decisions. So this last piece of the puzzle is all about how you make changes. Way too many of us just operate on a let's just try it and see what happens model. An architect doesn't do that. They follow a process. Step 1, before you touch anything, you back up what's currently working. Step 2, you test your new idea on a small scale first, like with one product or a tiny part of your audience. Step 3, you have to know exactly how to undo the change if it all goes wrong. That's your rollback plan. And finally, step 4, you use actual data, not just a gut feeling, to decide if the change was a success.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that building a solo business that actually lasts is an act of architecture, not just a series of intuitive hunches. This whole data center model, it's not about being rigid or boring. It's about having the discipline in your structure so you can actually handle success when it comes your way without the whole thing falling apart.
So what's the first step you can take right now? It's simple. Grab a blank piece of paper. At the top, write my solo data center map. Then draw out those 6 layers we talked about, from physical at the bottom all the way up to user at the top. Be brutally honest with yourself about the health of each layer. Then, on the side, map out the dependency chain for your main source of income. I guarantee just doing this one exercise will probably show you exactly where your biggest weakness is. I want to leave you with this one final thought. Your intuition is an amazing trigger. It's the spark, the idea that gets you started. But it is a terrible architect. It can't build a foundation that's meant to last. Architecture, that's what gets you to the finish line. It's what lets your business actually survive and thrive. Now that we have the foundation, in our next explainer, we're going to talk about redundancy, how to take this structure and make your solo business truly anti-fragile.